So, all right, from last lesson, we know that matter is made up of particles. But the question really is what kinds of particles? Because not all matter is the same, there is different types of matter. And in chemistry, we're going to organize it all differently. We're going to organize all these types, you know? Now, if you think back in history, and you might be like, why do we care? It just gives us a good insight into how people were thinking. A couple of thousand years ago, like for thousands of years, in fact, humans have tried to break down substances. We'd heat things up, burn things, mix things. We'd make precious metals like mixtures. We'd actually burn wood to create coal. We'd build things out of bricks, all that. So we've been trying to split substances and mix them together. They used to be called alchemists. Ancient alchemists did this. They was thought about as magic because you couldn't see what was happening inside, but something would become something else. Now, while they were doing all of this stuff, they discovered that some substances would not break down any further. No matter what they did, heating, burning, mixing, these substances couldn't be split into anything simpler, and we'd call them elements now. These substances cannot be, the elements are the simplest form of substances, meaning they cannot be broken down any further. For example, water is not really a simplest substance. I can break down water into things like hydrogen and oxygen. But hydrogen cannot be broken down into any other substance. It stays hydrogen. And so things like hydrogen and oxygen are what we call elements. Even things like calcium, gold, silver, the air we breathe, the oxygen in it, oxygen. These are pure. They cannot be broken down any further. Think of these fellows as, these are your Lego bricks. Lego bricks are the small, the red, blue, all those pieces. And you can use them to build things. But the smallest unit would be Lego. So a Lego brick is the basic unit. You cannot break a Lego brick into smaller Lego bricks. It is the most fundamental piece of Lego. And elements are the Lego bricks of not just the world, but the universe. Mars, Venus, Jupiter, they all have the same elements. They might make things differently in all these places, but the basic building blocks across the universe are exactly the same. That's interesting. Think about this. Even gravity isn't the same on the Earth and on the moon. The acceleration due to gravity is less on the moon. You can bounce more. But the actual elements that you can find on the moon, on Mars, carbon looks exactly the same on Mars as would on Earth. That's beautiful. That's where chemistry is just so gorgeous, I say. Now, for compounds, they are pure, but they can be broken down into substances. Like I told you water. Water is actually, we write it like this, and I'm sure you've seen this before. We'll talk about them later, but these are called symbols, and this is hydrogen and oxygen. And water is made up of multiple elements. So water, it could be, calcium carbonate that makes up bricks, calcium oxide, other things, But there's so many things we'll talk about later, really. We'll talk about them for sure. But these are called compounds. They are pure. They are absolutely pure, just like an element is pure. But the difference between an element and a compound is, a compound can be broken down. So it's a pure substance of two or more elements. So you can think about this. It's pure. It's a pure substance of two or more elements. Okay. But not just the fact that there are two or more elements, which are also, they are chemically bonded together. Obviously, we'll talk about chemical bonding later, but that's what it is. They're chemically combined. So when hydrogen and oxygen combine, it will always combine like this, H2O, always. So when elements combine chemically, they form a pure substance called compound. And there are only about 90 elements in the world and universe, but there are thousands and in fact millions of compounds, because the variation of how these elements combine gives us a lot of options for compounds. Now, so let's be clear. An element is just, element only has one type of atom. The small building blocks, it has only one type of atom. Obviously, we'll talk about atoms in a little more detail later. We will, absolutely, don't worry. While compounds are two or more types of atoms. Like, for example, in H2O, there is two H's and an O, two different types. In calcium oxide, one calcium, one oxygen, two different types. In calcium carbonate, you got calcium, carbon, and oxygen, three different types. As long as they're chemically bonded together, of two or more atoms, they become a compound. An element only has one type. So, for example, calcium is an atom. Even if you have H2, because there are two of the H's, both are the same atoms. So these both are considered elements. These guys are considered compounds. And they are always in a fixed. Elements are simple, only one element. Compounds have multiple, but they always combine in a particular fixed ratio. What makes the third guy different what makes mixtures different is that it can be a mix, physically mixing. You're literally not chemically combining, you're physically mixing elements and or compounds. And they can mix in variations, So, for example, air is a mixture. It has oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and all the gases mixed together. But they're not bonded together. They're just together. Because the air you breathe in and out has different composition. The air you breathe in has a little more oxygen and a little less carbon dioxide. And the air you breathe out has a little more carbon dioxide, a little less oxygen. So their amounts can vary and they'll still be called the same mixture. Salt water is a mixture. The seawater, for example, in New York Harbor is different in flavor than the seawater in Karachi. Yes, I've tasted both. They both taste salty. Yeah, but different kinds of salty. Because the salt and the water are not chemically bonded together. They just mix together. Okay? It's like a bag of mixed nuts. Some days you don't have raisins, some days you do. But there's still a bag of mixed nuts. But for you to have water, you'd have to always have two H's and an O. That's the difference between a compound and mixtures. So in a compound, elements are chemically bonded together. They're hard to separate. Not easy, guys. Not easy. And their properties are different than the element's properties. But in a mixture, they just are physically mixed together. Each individual substance has their own properties. They can be two or three elements, or an element and a compound, and mix in that. Yeah. So, for example, if let's say, you can take iron, which is a solid, gray solid, and sulfur is a yellow solid. You mix them together, you get a mixture of gray and yellow solid. But that's a mixture. You can separate the iron by just moving a magnet on top, and all the iron will come out. But if I heat them, they might become a compound. So on their own, they're elements, but if I heat them, FENS, they become a compound. And that's really the chemistry we got to learn, basically. Yeah. So all is about creating these compounds, and the compounds making more compounds. We really are now going to bother with mixtures. Mixtures are what you find in everyday life, but they don't have any chemical exactness to it. So we're really focusing our energies on elements and compounds. All right. And the next lesson, we will talk about those fellows that make up elements and compounds, which are the individual particles called atoms and molecules. Stay tuned.